Okay, we're going to continue our driver availability here at Dover. Denny Hamlin has joined us. He's our most recent winner. Very dominating performance last week in New Hampshire. He drives the number 11 FedEx Office Toyota. He's third in points, 7 out of the lead. He has a series high 5 wins on the season. And Denny, talk about coming off last week's victory, coming to a racetrack where you certainly would like to maybe get even with this place a little bit.
Yeah, it's now you got to get the splitter off the ground. That's a common problem with these new style cars. So
go ahead.
Yeah, it's
we're good.
Obviously good to get back on track, and had a pretty good first practice, so we're really optimistic about our chances leading into the weekend so far.
Take questions. We'll start right here with Brian, and then Claire, and then Lee. Go ahead, Brian. Get Brian the microphone right there over your shoulder. Thank you.
Brian Nelson, Motor Racing Network. So you were third in practice, and considering what was talked about earlier in the week, what do you love about Dover today?
Well, we've been good or decent here in practices before, and then once we got to the race, we weren't as good. But our car seems to have some pretty good speed to it so far, for what I can tell. Even it's very similar to Richmond and those tracks in the sense that the balance isn't very good, but it's still got really fast speed. So the better we get the balance, the better we should be to the field. So I think that really it's everything's fine. It's just we'll see what we got next practice. We're going to make a bunch of changes.
Have you come up with, though, that get to know about the sports psychologist earlier in the week, that come up with some things that you love about the track heading in? Have you kind of?
Well, just optimistic about it. I mean, it's easy to be optimistic when your car's fast, and I think that so far this weekend it's given me no indication to not like it. So it's been, that part of it's been good.
Let's go to Claire, then we'll go to Jim.
Claire B. Lang, Sirius XM NASCAR Radio. You seem to come in here sort of in a focus. You just got out of the car. Are you still sort of debriefing in your head? You seem very serious. What is it?
I just spent so many hours watching tape, my eyes are crossed. It's like you can only watch so much video, and then when you go out there and do it in real life, it's it's kind of get dizzy. It's like I feel like I've been around here 1,000 laps already. So it feels it's good to we got to stay focused. We still got a couple hours worth of tuning to do to our car, and I'd like to get the balance a little better before then.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's go to Jim, and then we'll work our way back. Go ahead, Jim.
Jim Noble, ESPN and Sirius XM. What you did last week in New Hampshire kind of blew everybody away. And then you look at Jimmy Johnson's numbers here, and a lot of people are thinking he's capable of doing the same thing. Do you feel he's capable? Are you worried that the 48 has such a dominant record at this track?
Not really. We're not going to control how they run. So really our focus can't be on them. It's got to be just getting my car as good as it can get. If we get our car good, we can beat him here. I mean, that's a realistic thing that can happen. So I'm not just looking to let's not give up so many points to the 48, because he's not my focus this weekend. Our focus is ourselves, and knowing that if I've got the balance that I want here and the car that I need, we can win just like we can in any other racetrack, even though our record may not show it. So I think that so far I feel like we could be in the hunt for a top 5 finish easily.
All the way back in the back, let's go to David, and we'll go to over here to Lee, and then ESPN.
David Newton, ESPN.com. Denny, you talked about 17 hours of tape. That's a real technical aspect of it. Then you go to the sports psychologist, which is not so technical. How do you blend the two when you're preparing for a race? And as the psychologist part of it, has that helped you in other tracks before?
Not really. I mean, that had to do with more the grand scheme of things, and when you're not running well, how to take it and things like that I've learned from that aspect. But I think when you crank up and you go out on the racetrack, you really forget all that other stuff except for the technical stuff that you watch on tape. The other part, the mental side of it, is just that's before you even get to the racetrack. Your mindset from home to here, what you have your mindset. Actual performance and the technical nuts and bolts happen that the stuff that you learn happen when you actually get out there. So that's the mesh that you have.
Let's go to Lee, and then we'll go to ESPN.
Lee Spencer, Fox Sports. You've been asked versions of this question that, people say you have to lose a championship to win one. Can you talk about, what you learned then, how low you were last year, and then coming back with a team that is just infinitely stronger than it was, and how you attack the rest of the season?
To start off, I mean, it's, I took for granted, I think in 2010, that we were part of a championship battle, and it was, we had an amazing season, a career season for myself, but you get so upset about not winning a championship, but in the grand scheme of things, you had a career year, in your fifth year, so we were steadily making the incline all the way to a championship. When you look at our points position results, we had the great rookie season. Then it went to the basement of 12th. I think then it went 9th, 5th, 3rd, 2nd. I mean, just kept climbing back to the top. And I think it's because our race team got better. I feel like I got better. But then when you lose the championship and you follow it up next year and your cars don't run as well, then it's very frustrating because you have to answer the questions every week of, is this a hangover, this, that, and the other, and you get so frustrated inside the car because, you're driving as hard as your car will let you drive. From 2010, when we won 8, and this year we won 5, and last year we won 1, I didn't forget how to drive for a year. We drive the same. It's just when your equipment's handicapped like it was, I feel, for us last year, it just makes everything else worse. It makes your attitude worse and everything. So I think that part is tough to get over when you become irrelevant after a career year. What handicapped our equipment? We just fell behind. I just think that there's a lot of things that happen. We had an oil pan incident in Michigan that really turned our season to the bad side. We were, I don't think, in NASCAR's good graces from that point on, and we just had the ropes tightened up on us quite a bit more because we went from, I think we led like 6 straight races in a row in 2011 during the summer months, won Michigan, had that incident, and we just fell off the face of the earth. So I think that it took us a while to regain some of the advantages that we had, to make up for the loss and which we had taken away from us. So I think that part was tough. And especially it happened right when the chase started, so we just looked terrible.
Go ahead.
Thank you. Hey, Denny. Alex Goody, ESPN. Just want to ask you, after you won the race a few weeks ago, in Bristol, even unprompted, you mentioned that, this was a Dover track that had never been a favorite of yours in the track, and sort of joked that, right, there needed to be some changes, renovations to this place. Regardless of how the race goes on Sunday, if you get, what you can out of the car, is there going to be a feeling once you get through this weekend of, okay, now we're really ready for the stretch run, I'm past my biggest challenge in the chase?
Yeah, I mean, I think that obviously the outlook that I'm supposed to have is not to look past this weekend and want to get over this weekend. It's to optimize this weekend and treat it as one of those that we can win at. And so until my speeds slow up and my car slows down, I'm going to treat it just like I can win this weekend, just like any other track. So it's hard. I'm not going to look forward. I'm going to just stay concentrated on this weekend and trying to do the best I can, knowing in the back of my head that every track from here on out we've won at or been very, very good at year after year. So instead of doing damage control, I'm going to try to treat this weekend as being on offense instead of defense.
Let's go Jim Utter and then Marty Smith. Go ahead, Jim.
Jim Utter, Charlotte Observer. Earlier this week, Denny, Kyle Busch talked about how at JGR right now it's all about you and trying to win the championship for JGR and to get you a championship. And he talked a little bit about how you guys are all going to work together for that one goal. Can you talk a little bit, what can Kyle and perhaps even Joey do best to help you as you go down this stretch?
I think the biggest thing is setup changes. Obviously there's going to be some big rule changes next year, and I think that they're starting to work for 2013 right now on their setups and things like that. And in the meantime, if they hit something, then we're not going to venture too far out of the box from what we've been winning with. They're heading in different directions, trying to find something that works for them. And in the process, if they find something, of course, it'll come to us. So I think that's their biggest benefit right now is if we had one of the other cars in the chase, they would be on the same program as us, and that's just riding that horse that they've had all through the summer.
Marty Smith.
Marty Smith, ESPN. Denny, you know Dale Jr. pretty well, personally and professionally. What have you seen from him this year, personally and professionally, that may have been missing in recent years?
I think he's a lot more upbeat. I think that I look at Dale Jr. last year was very similar to me, and this year we're very similar in the sense of how we both are. We're doing interviews with our head up. We're more focused. I think, more upbeat about things, excited to go to the racetrack. And all that goes back to your performance. When you perform well, you always feel better. But I think he's just more confident in his ability. He's been really the lead Hendrick driver for most of the season as far as the points is concerned. And I think that gives you a lot of confidence that he's been outperforming, a lot of championships over there in that stable. So I think the confidence is just what's taken his performance really to the next level. I think his cars, they've figured out some things to make his cars better, and then on top of that, he's gotten better. So those are the two things that have been the catalyst for his performance.
Claire, do you have another question? Let's bring the mic up here, please.
Claire Belang, Sirius XM NASCAR Radio. Your mom, after the win last week, told me she's never seen you more relaxed. And your car chief, Spider, said, when Denny's happy, everyone's happy. We are all just really happy right now. They feel really good on the team, that the team is all for one for all right now. You've kind of got it to that level now. Are you as relaxed as you've ever been? And can you maintain that as the incredible pressure of the chase escalates?
I can. I mean, given if I have a terrible finish because of a wreck or something like that this weekend, I'm going to be upset about it and know that we got a tough road ahead, but I'm going to treat every weekend the exact same. So my year will not be finished no matter what happens this weekend. So I think that our team is got great chemistry right now in the sense that everyone's obviously very happy with the way things are going. It's just they feed off of you, whether you know it or not. It's like, it just takes one little bit of emotion to the positive or the negative to really bring the crew up or bring the crew down. So that's something that I feel like I've gotten a good beat on here in the last year or so.
Let's go to Lee.
Was there anything out of last year that motivated you to come back stronger? I mean, was there, you mentioned Michigan, but was there something about just being so down after having a phenomenal year the year before that motivated you to come out with both guns blaring this year?
Well, we went through changes. Obviously I took time off in the off season, and then we had a new crew chief. So there was reason for optimism simply because I got re-energized to go back to the racetrack with a new outlook with a championship crew chief who just came off an excellent chase. And so I think that re-energized things. But, I think it had more to do with Darian, what he brought to the race team. Not just the 11 team, but Joe Gibbs Racing, his leadership, and all the guys in the shop were really excited to work for him and excited that we got him over to Joe Gibbs Racing. So everyone seemed to be very upbeat in the shop in the off season. And that just fed right to me, and obviously when you win the second race of the season with a new crew chief, that just lifted all the confidence through the roof, and we maintained it, right up until now.
Anything else for Denny? Denny, thanks for coming in,
Thanks.
and good
Appreciate
luck
it.
this weekend at Dover. Okay.